This is one of Europe's busiest airports. Not long ago, it looked like this. But today, everything has changed. And this story isn't just about one airport, it's a continent-wide crisis. Across Europe, once thriving airports are now facing a tourism collapse so severe that they feel less like bustling hubs and more like abandoned mansions. In 2025, the beating heart of Europe's travel industry is cracking. Once busy terminals that connected millions are turning into ghost towns. Gates sit empty. Shops are shuttered. And flights that once sold out months in advance are being cancelled due to a lack of passengers. This isn't just a seasonal dip, it's a full-scale collapse. Across the continent, a perfect storm is tearing European aviation apart. Skyrocketing fuel prices, economic downturns, mass protests, immigration tensions, security threats, and political instability. So in today's video, we're revealing 10 European airports that stand empty in 2025 as millions of travelers cancel their plans. But before we begin, a quick request. We put our heart and hard work into every single video. So please, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Number 10. Vienna International Airport, Austria. Vienna, once the glittering capital of art, music, and imperial grandeur, is fading fast. In 2019, Vienna International Airport set a record with 31.7 million passengers. But by 2025, that number has collapsed by nearly 75%, with just 8.2 million travelers, a staggering loss of more than 23 million people. Inflation at 5.6% annually has crushed middle-class travelers, with hotel prices spiking 25% in a single year. What used to be an affordable getaway is now a luxury reserved for the elite. At the same time, petty crime linked to immigrant gangs has surged. Pickpocketing around hotspots like Stephansplatz is up 30%, leaving visitors uneasy. Political unrest only deepens the crisis. Major protests, up 40% since 2023, often erupt into violent clashes, scaring families and first-time tourists away. Airlines are abandoning Vienna, cutting direct routes from Asia and the US by 20%, forcing travelers to reroute through other hubs like Frankfurt or Munich. In July 2025, Vienna's terminals handled just 1.1 million passengers, down from 3.5 million in 2019. Whispered fears of layoffs haunt the airport, with 1,500 jobs reportedly at risk. The city's charm is unraveling, and its silent skies signal a deeper crisis. Can Vienna ever reclaim its crown? Number 9. Helsinki Airport, Finland. Helsinki Airport, once the pride of Nordic aviation, now stands as a shadow of its former self. In 2019, it thrived with 21.8 million passengers, bridging Europe and Asia. But in 2025, geopolitical tensions have slashed that number by 45%, leaving only 12 million travelers, nearly 10 million fewer than before. The ongoing war in Ukraine and Finland's NATO membership have shattered Asian transit traffic. Passenger numbers from China and Japan have plunged by 62%, from 4.5 million to just 1.7 million. Rising hotel prices and stricter immigration policies have further driven away budget travelers. The terminals, once vibrant, are now eerily quiet. Nearly 40% of retail shops are closed, and 1,200 jobs are on the chopping block. Security fears are growing as reports of Russian cyber attacks on Finnish infrastructure rise by 50% since 2023, spooking visitors. Airlines have slashed 25% of long-haul routes to Asia, leaving gates empty. If Helsinki can't adapt quickly, its once bright northern star risks fading into obscurity. Number 8. Brussels Airport, Belgium. Brussels, the beating heart of the European Union, should be a symbol of strength and connectivity. But its crown jewel, Brussels Airport, is collapsing under waves of fear and chaos. In 2019, it welcomed 26.4 million passengers. By 2025, that number has plummeted by 65%, with just 10.8 million travelers passing through, a devastating loss. Security threats, lingering since the 2016 terrorist attacks, have resurfaced. Extremist incidents near transport hubs have spiked by 30%, while pickpocketing, often tied to immigrant gangs, has surged by 62%, leaving visitors anxious and clutching their bags. Travel advisories from the US and Canada have further dented traffic, cutting North American arrivals by 40%. Political turmoil in Belgium isn't helping either. More than 200 protests in 2025, up 50% from 2023, have paralyzed the capital, turning once vibrant boulevards into no-go zones. Inside the airport, chaos reigns. Nearly 28% of flights face significant delays, and 5 major strikes this year alone stranded 230,000 passengers. Long security lines now stretch up to 45 minutes, while 1,000 jobs hang in the balance. Once a must-visit hub, Brussels now feels like a forgotten relic. Can it claw its way back, or is this the beginning of the end? Number 7. Athens International Airport, Greece. Athens, the cradle of Western civilization, should be overflowing with travelers. But in 2025, Athens International Airport is teetering on the edge of collapse. In 2019, it welcomed 25.6 million passengers. Today, that number has plunged by 60%, leaving only 9.9 million travelers. Soaring 6.2% inflation has driven hotel prices up by 22%, turning a dream vacation into a luxury few can afford. Meanwhile, mass migration pressures have fueled crime in tourist-heavy areas, with incidents surging 45% and muggings jumping by a shocking 70%. The summer months still draw crowds, but the off-season tells another story. November 2025 recorded just 400,000 travelers, down from 1.4 million in 2019. Budget airlines like Ryanair have slashed 15% of their routes, and 20% of airport shops now stand shuttered. Protests over migration policies have soared by 60% since 2023, deterring families and first-time visitors. For a city so dependent on tourism, this instability is a ticking time bomb. Will Athens rediscover its magic, or is it destined to become a faded memory? Number 6. Berlin-Brandenburg Airport, Germany. Berlin-Brandenburg Airport, once envisioned as Germany's shining gateway, is now a cautionary tale. Planned to handle 34 million passengers annually, it's limping along in 2025 with just 10.2 million travelers, a catastrophic 70% drop from its 2019 peak. Germany's deep economic slump, fueled by 7.8% inflation, has gutted disposable incomes and crippled leisure travel. Visitors now find Berlin less welcoming, with violent crime in neighborhoods like Kreuzberg up 55% since 2023, leaving tourists on edge. Repeated rail and airport strikes, 6 major stoppages in 2025, have stranded more than 300,000 passengers, solidifying Brandenburg's reputation as a logistical nightmare. Transatlantic arrivals have collapsed by 35%, with many travelers diverting to Munich or Frankfurt instead. Inside the airport, the picture is grim. 1,800 jobs are at risk, and nearly 30% of terminal shops are boarded up. Airlines have cut 22% of their routes, leaving gates empty and dreams of rivaling Europe's elite hubs in ruins. Can Berlin's airport ever rise from this spiral, or has its fate already been sealed? Number 5. Barcelona El Prat Airport, Spain. Barcelona, once Europe's radiant jewel of sun, culture, and Goda's masterpieces, is now unraveling under a storm of unrest and crime in 2025. El Prat Airport, which handled 52.7 million passengers in 2019, has seen a steep 25% decline, struggling with just 39.5 million travelers this year, a loss of over 13 million visitors. The Catalan independence crisis has reignited, with 250 protests in 2025, up 70% from 2023, flooding streets and fueling anti-tourist hostility. Graffiti reading, "Tourists go home," now marks once iconic landmarks like La Sagrada Familia. Crime has soared. Pickpocketing in Las Ramblas and El Raval is up 65%, while street scams targeting foreigners, many linked to organized gangs, have skyrocketed by 80%, leaving visitors anxious and constantly on guard. Long-haul flights from Asia and the Americas have been cut by 20%, leaving gates eerily quiet. Despite the chaos, hotel prices are still up 18%, making the city less accessible for families. Inside the airport, 1,500 jobs hang in the balance. In August 2025, only 2.1 million passengers passed through El Prat, down from 5.6 million in 2019. A chilling sign for local businesses that rely on tourism. If Barcelona can't restore stability, its vibrant streets could become empty echoes of the Number 4. Rome Fiumicino Airport, Italy. Rome, the Eternal City, has long been a magnet for pilgrims and travelers. But in 2025, its main gateway, Fiumicino Airport, is teetering on the edge. In 2019, it hosted 43.5 million passengers. In 2025, that number has plunged by 28%, to just 31.3 million travelers. Political instability has only deepened the crisis. 3 government shakeups this year alone have fueled 150 strikes by baggage handlers and security staff, delaying 35% of flights and leaving 400,000 passengers stranded. Petty crime and scams near tourist hotspots like the Colosseum and Termini station are up 60%, with many incidents linked to organized gangs. Hotel occupancy rates have dropped by 20%, and cruise arrivals at nearby Civitavecchia have plunged 30%. Public unrest over mass migration, with protests up 75% since 2023, has turned iconic piazzas into battlegrounds. Airlines are trimming 18% of transatlantic routes, leaving gates dark, while 2,000 airport jobs remain at risk. Number 3. Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, France. Paris, the city of light, is dimming. Charles de Gaulle Airport, once a proud emblem of French grandeur, is now drowning in chaos and dysfunction. In 2019, it served 76.2 million passengers. By 2025, that number has collapsed by 63%, leaving only 29.6 million travelers. France's year of turmoil, marked by 320 major protests, an 80% increase since 2023, has turned Paris into a battleground. Strikes by air traffic controllers and baggage handlers, 8 in 2025, have stranded 500,000 passengers, while 40% of flights face delays averaging 50 minutes. North American arrivals are down 35%, from 8.5 million in 2019 to 5.5 million today. Asian arrivals have plummeted by 42%, from 7.2 million to just 4.2 million. Luxury travelers, once the lifeblood of Paris's economy, are leaving for safer destinations like Lisbon and Florence, leading to a 25% decline in high-end hotel bookings. Inside the airport, 35% of retail shops are shuttered, and 2,500 jobs are at risk. Number 2. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, Netherlands. Amsterdam Schiphol, once a titan of European aviation, is collapsing under pressure. In 2019, it served 71.7 million passengers. In 2025, that figure has shrunk to 38.8 million, a stunning reversal. Government-imposed passenger caps, meant to reduce noise pollution, have gutted connectivity. Airlines have slashed 12% of intercontinental routes, dropping destinations from 305 to 301 in just a year. Transatlantic arrivals have fallen 20%, from 4.9 million to 3.9 million. Crime in the city has also spiked. Cocaine seizures at Schiphol have tripled since 2023, while violent incidents in tourist areas like Dam Square are up 50%, leaving travelers uneasy. Anti-tourism protests, 180 in 2025, up 60% from 2023, have turned once charming canals into hostile spaces where locals openly push back against visitors. Inside the airport, 25% of retail spaces are closed, and 2,200 jobs are at risk. July 2025 saw just 6.6 million passengers, down from 7.1 million in July 2019. Number 1. London Heathrow Airport, United Kingdom. Heathrow, once Europe's undisputed king of airports, is buckling under the weight of Britain's 2025 crisis. In 2019, Heathrow roared with 80.9 million passengers. In 2025, that number has plunged 23%, to 62.3 million travelers, a staggering loss of 18.6 million. Post-Brexit border checks have turned arrivals into an ordeal, with queues stretching up to 90 minutes. The UK's struggling economy, weighed down by 6.9% inflation, has crushed travel budgets. Violent crime in the capital has surged, with knife attacks up 55% since 2023, many linked to gang activity and unchecked immigration. Airlines, citing plummeting demand, have slashed 18% of routes to Europe and Asia, while American arrivals have cratered by 38%, from 9.2 million in 2019 to 5.7 million in 2025. Inside Heathrow, silence dominates off-peak hours. 30% of retail shops are closed, and 3,000 jobs hang in the balance. July 2025 saw only 2.8 million passengers, down from 8.9 million in 2019, while staff shortages and strikes delayed 20% of flights. Heathrow's decline is more than a warning, it's a chilling omen. If even Europe's mightiest hub can falter, no airport is safe from political, economic, and social turmoil. Can Heathrow reclaim its crown, or are we witnessing the twilight of its reign? Share your thoughts in the comments. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.